Uh, Respected fathers, brothers, and sisters in Christ, I'd like to extend my greetings. I'm going to do 10 minutes of the teaching regarding today's gospel. Today's gospel is Matthew chapter 18, verse 1 to 16. We're going to focus on the first 4. And it says, "At the time the disciples came to Jesus and asked him, 'Who then is greatest in the kingdom of heaven?' Then Jesus called a little child to him, set him in the midst of them, and said, 'Assuredly I say to you, unless you are converted and become like a little children, you will by no means enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, whoever humbles himself as a little child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven.'" So, as an Orthodox, we are expected to do 3 things in life. Right. The first thing is we believe we've discussed this prior to, but as an Orthodox, every Christian, every Orthodox is expected to learn, live, and proclaim the faith. This is what we see. And the live part, this is how we're supposed to live as children, right? Christ answered the disciples' question using a child. And he answered them telling them, you must be converted and become like a child. Therefore, as a result, you'll get the kingdom, right? If not, though, by no means you get to the kingdom. That's a very important point. What does he mean by converting and becoming like a child? So let's focus and let's try to understand what a child does today, right? A child is dependent on his parents. A child is always and always simple. A child is always, the fathers say a child is the closest to perfection in humanity, right? They don't hold any grudge, they don't have any envy, they don't have any bad thoughts, but they just live life. And that is what Christ expects every single one of us to do today, right? A child is pure, a child is always dependent on his parents. A child does not care about what he's going to eat tomorrow. A child does not care what he's going to wear tomorrow. A child does not go out and work, or a child does not spend time to earn money. A child is always dependent on God. So when we change and translate that to us today, we're supposed to be dependent on God and God only, right? I'm not saying don't go out and work. I'm not saying don't go have friends and, do your day-to-day things. But I'm saying we must be dependent on God. We must be dependent and relying only on God, right? So that is one. That's a very key element. The second point is the child is the simplest there is. A child does not hold grudge, or a child does not think of what you've done to him yesterday, right? A child just lives life right as it comes, I guess. So the simplest. A child is always quick to forget and always quick to forgive. So we should always remember that. Don't hold grudge. Don't always hold back and you've done this, so I'm not going to talk to you. All that kind of stuff does not help a Christian. And we're supposed to be a fool to this world. And that's what he meant. But whenever we think of this verse, people tend to not do a lot in church. Like they tend to be simple, quiet, and attend church service and just leave and go home. But that's not what he meant. He meant to actually live as a child, but become knowledgeable. So if you read 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 20, it says, "Brethren, do not be children in understanding. However, in malice be babes, but in understanding be mature." So we must learn. We must always try to find out what God has to say and everything. But we must live life as a child. And that's what Abuna Taklahamanut did, right? The reason that we celebrate Abuna Taklahamanut is because Abuna Taklahamanut had the knowledge, but he lived life as a child. He was a fool to this world. When I meant he was a fool to this world, he did not care what the world had to say about him practicing the religion. That's what is expected from us, and that is what Christ meant by today's gospel. I'm going to tell you one small story, and I'm going to conclude my teaching. It was said one time, Abba Macarius was walking in the desert, and a devil actually came to him. Right, the devil was holding the spear, and he was trying to actually attack Abba Macarius, but he could not. And the devil tried and tried, but he actually could not attack him. At the end, he started proclaiming, I always do what you do. You fast, I have never eaten anything. Right? This is the devil talking. You fast, but I've never eaten anything. You hold vigil, but I've never slept, right? The only thing you do that is actually holding me accountable, that is actually having me impossible, like, to attack you. I can't really reach and attack you. The only thing that's holding me back is your humility. You're humble, your humility is the only thing that is different about me and you. But holding vigil, fasting, the devil does not eat. So humility is another key, right? Simpleness, humility, and purity. That's what we can learn from the children. A child today, yes, right? And that's what Christ wants every single one of us today. So children, my message to you is, when you go out to school, when you go hang out with your friends, don't act like the world is expecting you to act, but be full to the world. Actually rely on your faith, rely on God, and be simple as you are. Okay? That's all I have to say. Thank you very much, and God bless you, and God willing, we'll talk next time. Okay? Thank you.